and like deep kick, like I don't know, it gives it that edge,
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I thought the guitars did a
No.
lot for it.
Yeah, and he's such a talented guitar arranger and like melodist. So it's like super awesome.
When did you get into rapping and like what? I mean, is this something you've just always been doing? Is rapping? Because like we didn't even talk about rapping until now.
Oh man. I haven't always done rapping. I'm trying to figure out when I first got into it. I think it must have been somebody told me, hey, we need like a female rapper on this section. Can you just do it? And I must have been like, oh, okay, I'll try to figure out how to do it. Right. And then it's just kind of weird. Like I don't know how I still feel kind of bad about rapping because I know it's just really not my culture. I'm like basically like a white European girl, but it's just some way that I'll play a record and I'll just be like, I just feel like that's how I want to express myself, and then I'll also study a lot of other rappers' rhythms, and try to really get a sense of like, oh, okay, how do they do it,
Yeah. Well, I think it's rapping is so ubiquitous. Like I don't think you have to feel bad about it. Like I feel like everybody, Eminem has already normalized it for white people as well.
Okay.
I feel like
Awesome.
I don't know. As I don't know. This is not my expertise, but but you do a great job at it. And
Thanks.
also like just like I told you that I really like your low end, but like what how did the 808 happen? Like it's just. How did you make that 808? Just using one of the 808 plugins? You're just pitching it yourself?
No, just a splice sample. And like Ableton makes it so easy to just drag in like a sample and then you just play the sample. And then I don't think I can take credit for any of the low end. I mean, our friend Carl mixed that record.
Oh, nice. Badass.
Yeah, he did such a great job.
I recognize when I saw the photo, I was like, I recognize that woman, Leah, from one of his reels or like one of his Instagram promos. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's like super cool. And then I think the the other random, they just started with some random sounds. I love video game sounds. So I was just like, oh, how about we have like a video game sound instead of like a classic snare? Like, how about that kind of takes the role of the snare, in the verse.
Nice.
So that was kind of the thinking behind that.
Like mix it up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, it sounds awesome, and it's cool. And I didn't realize that you were that Carl mixed that. Are you usually working with Carl when it comes to mixing? Do you have other mixing engineers that you work with? Do you occasionally mix yourself? What does mixing look like?
Yeah. So if we with Rob, we'll usually have like one of those, big. He'll usually get the big named mixers in. We had a session.
The Serbins and the Mannies.
And the Chris Lord,
kind of people.
Chris Lord Algae, and like so that's that's cool. I got to have a session. I got to be in session with Chris Lord Algae. That was like super awesome.
Wow.
And then myself, like it'll either be Carl or I have another friend of mine who's a fantastic mixer called Joe Grasso. And then sometimes I'll just mix stuff myself. Sometimes I have clients that are just like, hey, can you mix it? And I'll be like, yeah, I'll do my best. Yeah.
Nice. Well, if you do it enough, you'll be like Carl,
Yeah. I don't know. I think I need to do, I think there is a very specific learning process that goes into becoming a mixer, but I can, I can kind of go where I feel it, but it's, but I do have so much respect for mixers. Yeah. I'm trying to think of that other record. Yeah. And then the record towards the end, it kind of becomes this high school band thing with horns and everything. And that's always something that I love personally in my arrangements is I just love adding orchestral sounds like strings and like trumpets. That's from my years at the Berklee Online School. I learned, I took a whole course in orchestration. So so writing basically just for orchestra. And that was just so awesome to just be like, oh, how do you write a string section? How do you write a horn section? So that was super cool. So I always love bringing those elements in.
Wow. What I love about I don't know, what I'm hearing from you over the course of this interview is like this kind of interesting combination of being really academic and really learning and applying and studying, and then the other side of you, which is just like going with your feeling and just doing what feels right and doing your thing, and like, somewhere in between those things is your truth, or like the essence of what you're about, and I think it's super cool.
Oh yeah, thank you for summarizing it that way. That's actually very helpful to me. I'm like, oh right,
yeah. That's kind of what I'm just listening and here.
Maybe that's what I should do.
Yeah, well, I love it. I love that you're a lifetime learner, but you're feeling it out and you're doing your best and you're doing your thing, and you're keeping at it. So it's amazing.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, before we wrap this, I want to ask you one more question that I ask everybody else on the show, and I'm curious to hear your answer to this. So looking back on your journey, was there something that you maybe did or did not do along the way that you kind of would want to impart on your earlier self and say like, hey, Ava, keep at that. That's going to get you where you need to go. Or maybe don't do that, Ava. It's holding you back. What would be that one nugget of wisdom you would share with your earlier self?
Oh, such a great question. Let me think. It's hard because I kind of feel like everything I did, I kind of needed to do.
Legit answer.
I think the one nugget of wisdom I would tell myself, and this is kind of going back to what we talked about earlier, is I would tell myself to chill out. I would just be like, hey, it's okay. You don't need to prove yourself to anybody. You just need to just show up in the room. And even if you're just sitting in the room and not contributing anything, like that's okay also. Just chill out, go with the flow. It's okay to just be,
Yeah, I love that. I feel like maybe you and I are similar in that sense of like, you went to Columbia. I didn't go to Columbia, but I come from this like very like, Ashkenazi Jewish kind of like be very productive, do your homework, study hard, do good work, keep being productive, etc. kind of mentality of like we always have to be doing something to feel like we're doing well, and you don't always have to do things to be continuing on your trajectory of success and achievements, and like we feel like by doing all those things we're accomplishing it, but it's not just that. It's if anything that's just distraction and kind of just noise,
Yeah,
so
we're
I feel like
human.
There's we have what to overcome.
We're human beings, not human doings.
Hell yeah, I love that. That's a great quote. Where's that from?
It's like my 12-step stuff.
Okay, good. I'm gonna use that. I like that.
Yeah. Yay! Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
Wow, Ava, this has been super, super fun. Thank you so much for sharing your story and being so open, and lots of inspirational and great takeaways from this episode.
Yeah, thank you so much. This is so cool, and I'm so grateful to be able to. Yeah, I'm so grateful to have been invited on your platform to talk, and thank you so much. And I learned so much from you too. Super cool.
Try it. Thank you. What's the best way for the audience to find you on the internet? Pitch yourself.
Yeah, feel free to DM me at Ava King Music on Instagram. It's the main platform, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, for us millennials, for sure.
Yeah.
Amazing. Ava, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. Really appreciate it.
Yay. Okay, we'll talk super soon. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Secret Sonics. I hope you enjoyed the conversation with Ava as much as I did. If you enjoyed this episode or any of our other episodes, I'd super appreciate it if you would go to Apple Podcasts and leave us a rating and review. It really helps the show. And if you could share this episode or your favorite episode with a friend or two, that would also really help the show move forward. In addition to that, you can find us on social media. Just search for Secret Sonics. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. And you can email me at secretsonics@gmail.com if you have any comments, feedback, guests you might want to recommend, anything like that. So that's about it for now. Until next time, I hope you guys have a great week. Stay safe out there and dig in. Bye-bye.